Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel All About BI. In this video, we are going to continue learning fabric related concepts, especially with respect to data factory. So those who have been following All About BI, right, most of our videos in our channel are either related to Azure Data Factory or Azure Synapse Analytics, wherein we had the access to pipelines, data sets, link servers, integration runtime, etc. etc. So how does it align with data factory in fabric? That is what we are going to see today. So if you look at the UI perspective, right, it's completely different in fabric, that we all know. So how do we start looking at data factory in fabric? That is what I'm going to tell you in this session. Okay, so if you go to any workspace that you have already created, for example, in my case, I'll just click on any of the available workspaces. Once you are inside your workspace, you will have option to create new item. So if you click new item, then you will be seeing a lot of items that you can work with in fabric, right? So if you think about pipeline in ADF perspective, right, we will have a different UI wherein you will have the hierarchy of pipelines, data sets, link servers, data flow, etc. Okay, but here everything is shown as items, right? So if you want to start working with a pipeline, you just have to search pipeline. So the pipeline name here is not simply pipeline, it's data pipeline. So if I click on data pipeline, it will ask me to choose my name. So once we have chosen the pipeline name, we will be given with an area to add activities, right? So before we start adding activities, we can start with the blank canvas. This is most of the time we will just go about using this, right? Because already existing templates might not be suitable for every organizational requirement needs. Okay, so mostly we will start with the blank canvas. So I'll come to this part little later. Let us start with some guidance now. Okay, so start with guidance. If you see here, there are a lot of options available, like data factory templates. We have some templates here that we can leverage to learn pipelines and data factory. But if you want to start working with some data immediately, okay, you don't have time to bring data in fabric ecosystem, you just have to try something quickly, then you can go about with using practice with sample data. So I'm just going to click that. What it is going to do, it is going to create an activity for me, which is a copy data activity. In that copy data activity, it's going to create a source or data for me from New York Taxi data set. Okay, so if I click on practice with sample data set, it is asking me copy data from sample data to lakehouse file. So understand the requirement very clearly. We are going to copy to lakehouse from where? From a sample data. What data is this? This data is nothing but New York Taxi green data. Okay, taxi trips related data. So where it is available? It is available in a URL from where we can bring in the data to Fabric ecosystem. So from that New York Taxi data set, where we are going to move? We are going to move to Lakehouse. So what it is asking, so for Lakehouse, we have to choose to which Lakehouse we have to copy the data to. So that is what is being asked here in the form of connection. So as you can notice here, there is no data set concept here, there is no link service concept here, it's just connection. So if I expand this, I will be able to see all the lakehouses that I have created in my Fabric ecosystem. So if I click on this, it will be asking me to use this template, and that's it. Okay, so we have brought in some data to work. Okay, we are using New York taxi data as the source, and we are going to move it to our lakehouse um, location. Okay, so let us explore more about this simple pipeline. So this is a pipeline because you see on the left hand side, it is the canvas of a pipeline whose name is YT underscore pipeline, right? So as you can see here, we have a home button which shows the complete end-to-end control flow of the pipeline, and we have activities to choose from. So you see all the activities one by one. If you don't find a specific activity, you can click on this three dot, and then you will be looking at all the related activities that you want to use, right? So this is number two. Second is run. executing the pipeline. So in data factory it will be debug, right? So here it is run, okay, and then view. If you want to view the JSON code of the pipeline, wherein sometimes we will have to do that, right? Why? Because we might have to tweak certain um, activity names or certain expressions easily. If the pipeline that we have is very large and we are not able to find a specific text, we will simply go to the JSON code and we'll do a control F, right? So this option will be very helpful in such scenarios. Second is auto align. Again, if the pipeline is very clumsy, we can click this to automatically align our pipeline activities. Zoom out, we all know about it. So going back to home, what else is available? Let us explore the other options slowly, right? So I'll just show you what is the source, what is the destination, how about mapping, settings, everything, and we will simply run it in this session. So name, we all know how to give, how to follow the naming conventions, we all know. According to every organizational naming convention start, we will just go about it. So if you click on source, it is directly pointing to New York Taxi green data, which is in the form of Parquet. So if you want to preview, just click on preview. It has vendor data, pickup date time, drop off date time, passenger count, trip distance, something related to taxi data, right? So this is automatically connected. This connection we haven't created. We are using a sample template with the data set. That's why it is automatically created. But if you go to destination, this lake house that we chose during the setup of this pipeline, we chose that we have to copy the data to my YouTube lakehouse. So here you have the option to decide whether you have to load it to tables in lakehouse or files in lakehouse. Lakehouse is the combination of ADLS plus warehouse, right? That is why we have the option to store the data in the form of tables as well as files. Files are supported under ADLS category, tables are supported under data warehousing category. So it is up to us to copy. So for now, let us just copy to files folder, and then if you want to mention the folder name, we can mention here my YouTube folder, okay, my new file.rk. Alright, so type of file, if you want to change, you can change here. Alright, so I'm just leaving it to Parquet now. So extension, let us not mention here because anyway it has to create it as a Parquet file. If you want to preview, we have already done that, right? So that's it. Mapping, since it is a default data set, mapping will not be done automatically. Anyway, it's going to be one-to-one mapping. But if you want to import schema, you are good to go. If you click on import schemas, you will be able to see the type of each and every column here. And then if you want to change any name of the destination column, you can do that. If you want to delete something, you can always do that. So that's it. So how to run this? Just click on run. It will ask you to save and run, and then copy behavior must be merge files when sync is a file and source is a folder, or specifies wildcard file name, wildcard file path. So let us remove this file name from here, and then it is automatically fixed. Okay, so I'll just close this and then save and run again. It started running. Like Data Factory or Synapse, we will be able to see the progress of pipeline execution in the bottom. We can also see view run history for this particular pipeline. If you want to see the previous run histories, you can click this and take a look. Okay, it's taking some time. Meanwhile, I'll just open another tab and then I'll go to the workspace that we wanted to copy. Here, there are two views. I think we have already covered this. One is lineage view, another one is list view. Let us click on list view and then We're just checking if a folder is already created for us. It's not yet done. It's still in progress. So I'll just pause for a while until the folder is created. So if you see here, right, it has completed in 1 minute and 45 seconds. So previous run history, if you see, I had to cancel the previous execution because it was taking over 5 minutes for me. So I just cancelled it. Okay, and then I reran the pipeline again without any changes. This time it ran in 1 minute and 45 seconds. So if you click on the activity name, you are going to see some useful details about this data copy, right? So if you see here, the source, which is the New York taxi data, right, it is residing in Azure Blob Storage, okay, and the size is 2.56 GB. So the destination that we chose is Lakehouse. Again, the file size is going to be the same. Total number of files that were read is 80 and written are 80 as well. And status is succeeded. If you expand the duration breakdown, we see some beautiful chart here. So the time spent in queuing the pipeline and total time to transfer the data from source to destination. Okay, this is the second metric. Third, how many files are there in the source folder? That is what is listing, like enumerating the number of files in source, and reading from source, this much time is taken, 26 seconds. So after reading from source, how much time is taken to write to the sink? 22 seconds. So these are some details that we can look at, and why we have to see such, or why such charts are shown us. If we have to identify the bottleneck in performance of the pipeline, this type of chart always helps us. So we can reach out to Microsoft and explain them. Here is where the bottleneck is when the data transfer happens. So can you suggest some improvements? Like that, we can have some information in hand before we can go and talk to Microsoft for any issues. So this is all about executing a pipeline with a simple copy activity. So this is what I wanted to show you. So if you want to look at the folders or files that were created, right, we will go to OneLake. Under OneLake, whichever lake house we wanted to load data to, you have to click that and say open. And here my YouTube folder is created now. If you see the date, you can identify that. And these are the folders that were created, and inside each folder there will be a Parquet file, one or more Parquet files. Okay, so this is what I had for this video, wherein we just learned how to create a pipeline and how to use sample dataset to understand the properties of copy data activity, and how to run the pipeline. This is what we saw. Okay, I also have a documentation page open for you in order to compare data factory in the pipeline in data factory or ADF, or the pipeline in Microsoft Fabric. Okay, so I will be sharing this URL with you. As you can see here, in data factory, if we call something as pipeline, it is data pipeline here. And here, if it is mapping data flow, in Fabric, it is data flow gen 2. They want to be specific with respect to the generation. Activities are activities here as well. There is no concept of data set here. There is only a concept of connections, which combines the concept of data set and link servers. And triggers, we have schedule triggers here. We can schedule the pipeline to run at a specific frequency. And file event triggers, file created, file deleted, so file modified. So such kind of event triggers are always also available. And this list is expected to grow in future. Okay, and publish, if we call publish in ADF, it is save and run in Fabric. Okay, and there is no concept of auto resolve or any integration runtime basically in Fabric. Okay, so if it is self-hosted integration runtime in ADF, it is on-prem data gateway, which means that if you have to bring in data from your on-prem server inside your Fabric, we have to create a data gateway. So like this, we have certain other information related to the comparison of data factory in ADF versus data factory in Fabric. So I request you to go through this by clicking from our description section. So feel free to let me know your comments about the session and expectations about the upcoming videos as well. Thanks a lot for watching. Keep supporting the channel.